Well, at least I don't have to talk as fast because he's far down there. All right, TGI Friday. Hopefully, I get some peace and quiet for a few minutes to knock this out. We're outside Rochester, Minnesota currently. You can see behind me the Beyond a Call of Duty End of Watch Ride Rolling Memorial. We are on our way to Police Week in Washington, D.C. to get some more exposure for this organization and some more support. If you don't know what they do, I've talked about it several times in the past few years. Myself and Mike Meddy have rode with this organization. They go across the country supporting law enforcement, officers and departments and their families who have given the ultimate sacrifice, lost in the line of duty. I could tell you, being part of this organization and rolling on these rides, that when you go into a town, a department, and the family members and department members, the level of gratitude and appreciation and emotion that their loved one is still being remembered a year and a half, 2 years later after the loss, it's pretty cathartic. It's therapeutic to these family members, and it is an amazing organization. It is unique to what they do, and it's a very financially draining endeavor every 2 years. So the goal is to get them some financial support going forward. You can look them up and donate if you wish. I'll have more on that once we get to DC. Locally, the P320. So here's where we're at with the P320 issue. The city's position from day one is they're not reimbursing anybody for any of the costs to get a new weapon. Our position has been very clear. You can't ban a weapon and tell officers who paid for that weapon now, go get another one and spend more money. The department is absolutely liable to replace that weapon. And I'll give everybody the simple example we gave the city. When a certain young man was whacked with a mag light in the face and knocked out a couple of his teeth, the city's knee-jerk reaction was to ban the aluminum mag flashlights and transition everybody to the polymer Stinger flashlight. They paid for every single flashlight. Now, there was well over 12,000 flashlights distributed, but it was at a much less cost of 100. But again, the end total was still about the same. $1 million to $1.5 million for the flashlights. That's what we're talking about here. And the city still refuses to do the right thing. But our proposal, along with the PBPA in partnership, so thank you for that partnership again on this issue, the Sergeants, Lieutenants, and Captains Associations, is this. If you are carrying the P320 as a primary weapon and have an auxiliary qualified weapon, if you have a holster, a level 3, or can obtain one, you would immediately transition that auxiliary weapon for use as your primary weapon, no longer carrying the Sig P320. You can then get another backup. They would still, you'd qualify for the reimbursement for a change of weapon from the P320, and you could then swap it going forward. But just to get these guns out of use, and again, we're not taking a position on whether they're safe or not. The city and the department already did that. We're just saying now that they said they're going to ban them, they have to go sooner rather than later. It's a major safety concern, according to the department, so they need to start acting like it. If you cannot get one of these weapons, our demand is that you are placed in some administrative duty capacity, remaining on the payroll until you can obtain one of the replacement options and be returned to full duty, whatever that ends up looking like. That's the simple basic ones. And you'd have to get at least 4 hours of training on the city's time while you're on duty to familiarize yourself with the new weapon platform that you'll be carrying, how to clean it, how to operate it, put some rounds down course. You're going to be on the street. The city talks about sanctity of life all the time. Well, this should be a no-brainer if we're talking about sanctity of life and a possible incidental misfire that could hurt you, one of your family members, or a citizen on the street, or God forbid, kill somebody. You would think it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but here we are. Locally, the biggest issue we've had with the contract is termination for arbitration. We finally have an answer from the appellate court. We have oral arguments scheduled June 17th at 10 a.m. Downtown, so hopefully we'll have an answer shortly thereafter from the appellate court on that issue. Lastly, I'm going to tell everybody this name, and please understand you need to know this name, and if you have a picture of this man, please send it to the FOP, because I can't get concrete picture because he works in confidential Bureau of Internal Affairs investigations. Sgt Emmitt Welch is out of control. Yesterday, I was at Internal Affairs placing a CR number on Sgt Emmitt Welch for his out-of-control behavior. He has absolutely made it a crusade to criminally charge our officers before investigations are even complete, even when presented with clear, innocent proving facts and documentation. He still has decided to go ahead and criminally charge our officers. He needs to be stopped. He needs to be removed out of investigations and the Bureau of Internal Affairs altogether. This guy has been coddled his whole career. You do a little research. Emmitt Welch left the job in 2007 with about 10 years on the job at that point. Came back 2 years later after working at Streets and Sand as a basically lackey for some politician, still unknown. He got definitely coddled and taken care of during that 2 years. Comes back to this job and somehow miraculously gets afforded a benefit that our members have not been afforded who got rehired, a continuous service issue. Pretty unique, but his continuous service date now is 20 years when he had a break in service. So again, this guy is bad news. We are going to keep hammering this away. And the department needs to do something effective immediately and take him out of investigations. Sgt Emmitt Welch, if you get a phone call from him, be very careful what you say because he is no good. Thank you. Have a good rest of your weekend.